برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. So inshallah we begin in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We send our blessings and salutations upon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And we also thank the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala ajma'een. Wallahi, my brothers and sisters, if it wasn't for the Sahaba, me and you wouldn't have enjoyed the religion the way we do. So, mashallah, we're here today. First of all, before I go inside the topic, I actually want to mention this community, particularly because this community is working in the background. And I've seen this masjid, mashallah, come up. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it from the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he says, أَحَبَّ الْبِلَادِ إِلَى اللَّهِ مَسْجِدُهَا. So you know, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, from the places that Allah loves the most is masjids. May Allah actually made this place, that blessed place. And also these people that worked hard, if you guys don't know, they just bought this microphone yesterday. And it was delivered. And mashallah, they wanted me to speak on this microphone today. And I think they've already spoken on this microphone in the Jumu'ah today. But inshallah, you know, something, a lesson for them, a lesson for this community particularly. Surah Tawbah actually mentions a glad tiding for you. But it comes with a condition. There's 5 qualities you should have for that glad tiding that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala actually mentions in the Quran. So inshallah, you are people from that. When Allah says, إِنَّمَا يَعْمُرُ مَسَاجِدُ لِلَّهِ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ. So the first, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered the people that run the masajid. And the first thing Allah mentions in the ayah is آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ. That you should be believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. MashaAllah, we believe in Allah and we all prayed just now. And the second quality, he said, وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. I should also believe in the Day of Judgment. And so I believe, MashaAllah, we all believe in the Day of Judgment. And there will be a day that we will see, inshallah, the recompense. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us on that day and make us from the people who are maghfureen. Ameen. And then he says, وَأَقَامَ الصَّلَاةِ. And mashallah, the third quality as well is mentioned over here, is that we all did, we stood up for salah. And the fourth quality, inshallah, you guys should be now, everyone working to keep this place going. وَآتَ الزَّكَاةَ. Now you should purify your wealth and you should be donating for this cause. But subhanAllah, I did not imagine such a big crowd. I mean, I talk in Rouse Hill, this place has more bigger crowd than it's in Rouse Hill. So maybe I should be cancelling all my lectures over there and start over here. I'm only kidding, guys, don't tell them that. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَمْ يَخْشَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. That they are only scared of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And inshallah, I believe that you guys are only scared of Allah. And we should always be scared of Allah. Scared, yakhsha over here does not mean how our children take it. We are scared from doing the sins. And we're always conscious. And we always want to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we should always make, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam proud, inshallah. And that's what we want to do, inshallah. So inshallah, the topic is really long. But I would I want to make it interactive, inshallah. I want to ask you guys a question. Before we go there, Hassan al-Basri, rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentions, an amazing statement. He says, يَبْنَ آدَمْ أَنْتَ أَيَّامٍ. That he says, oh son of Adam, that you all are days. And he says, كُلَّمَا ذَهْبَ يَوْمُكَ وَذَهْبَ بَعْدُكَ. That one day that goes away from your life actually takes that part of your life away. So inshallah, we're all sitting over here, the days of our life are going. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us more profitable in this dunya so that we can reap the rewards, inshallah. My first question to all of you when you think about Ramadan, and before I go to the topic, I'll make it very short, but today, as you know, in the Islamic calendar, people have difference of opinion. Today is the 27th of Rajab, according to the moon fighters. And if you're the moon sighter, according to the moon fighters, it's the 28th of Rajab. And if you're the moon sighter, then according to you, it's the 27th of Rajab. Now, having said that, Rajab, this particular day, has a reverence in the Muslim mind, in the layman's mind. Now let me tell you, there's no dalil whatsoever that this is the day of Isra wal Mi'raj. Now we can differ inshallah. What is authentic is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to the journey. Isra wal Mi'raj. He actually went to that journey. We cannot differ that. That's an authentic narration of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that was a mu'jiza that was given to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Regardless of who you are, you know what kind of a scientist you are, this is something even if it boggles your mind. This is a journey that was taken, that took place, and it actually took place with body and soul. It's not that just the soul went or it was a dream. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually went with his body and soul. Now, having said that, the day in itself, how particularly, mashallah, I can see a lot of people from subcontinent, and we particularly have more importance for the days. And we always say the 27th night is a special night, and we have to fast the other day when it comes. SubhanAllah, there's nothing in the religion like that. So, if this day was so important, the Sahaba would have celebrated that day. Do you know that 450 years after the Fatimid, they were the ones who actually started the Mawlid, and they were the ones who actually started this day as well. Why? Because celebrations make money. Let's be quite honest. When you have a celebration, it comes with business. And mashallah, when you got Eid, there's a lot of donation that comes for the masjid and everything else. So for them to collect money, this was the best way to collect money. So they started Mawlid. And they started all these things. And we've got nothing in religion that we should be holding on these things, inshallah. Now moving on, inshallah, we will be always fighting, inshallah. My advice to all of you, regardless of who you are, start with the community, your Ramadan, and finish with the community, your Ramadan. Although I have an opinion, I will give you my opinion. And I believe, again, we all have our right to believe. Now, I'll give you the hadith of Bukhari. This is the amazing hadith, which actually makes me, and this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. He said, نحن قوم أمي لا نحسب ولا نكتب الشهر هكذا والشهر هكذا. So he said, we are illiterate people. We do not calculate and we do not write. And then he said, Asha'u hakada. He actually made a gesture with his hands, 30, with his fingers. And then he said again, Asha'u hakada. And then he made a gesture of 29. Now, being a literalist, I believe that we have to see the moon. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to follow me. Or we've got, mashallah, the Imam Council, and they're the ones who made the announcement. And if you want to go with that announcement, there should be not a problem, inshallah. My advice always is to the community, make Ramadan and Eid with your masjid, with your local masjid, and follow them. It makes it easy for you. Or else you'll be driving on the other side of the town to find the masjid. Start with the community and finish with the community, inshallah. So we can all have opinions, inshallah. Now, my first question, to make it interactive, inshallah, and I want to ask you, what is something you want to do special this year for Ramadan? Anyone can answer, inshallah. What's something that you want to do special? We always, when you think about Ramadan, you've got a plan, inshallah. You want to do something special. But maybe the children can say, what's something that you want to do special? Yes?
Read 2 pages of Quran every day.
MashaAllah. Even that will not help you finish the Quran, but MashaAllah, that's a very good goal, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help you. And you know what, I'll come to that very good point that you mentioned. It's Ramadan is about doing the best quality. It's not about quantity. SubhanAllah, in subcontinent community, if the Imam does not finish the Quran, it's like a bid'ah. So if you're reading behind the Imam, if he does not finish the Quran, you just think, you know what, Ramadan never started. So if you see any, mashallah, the Indians, the Pakistanis, the Bangladeshis, they always look for the Imam who start from the beginning and they finish inshallah. They always are looking for those imams. But if they find the imam of their masjid is only reading Quran from different places, they just don't think Ramadan has started. They just think that they're doing Isha Salah. So for them, they need the khatmah of the Quran. And again, as you said, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and allow you to actually read those two things. Anyone else, you want to do something special inshallah? MashaAllah, you've got a great sheikh over here, Sharif Hussain over there at the back, and he gave me, the shelf to actually lead you in the salah. And MashaAllah, he's a knowledgeable man. He could have done this speech in this mic better than me, inshallah. وإياكم. Yes.
Start fasting.
Start fasting, very good. And you know what? Start fasting in Sha'ban. Get your bodies ready. Because Sha'ban is a month that even the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Aisha radiallahu anha said, I have never seen Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam fast other than Ramadan in the month of Sha'ban. So which is about to start inshallah. So maybe get your bodies ready inshallah. But it doesn't mean that you just fast the month of Sha'ban and after that you're sick. So inshallah, fast some days and leave your energy. Get your body used to it. You know the mechanic always says, when it's a winter day, in the morning when you start your car, make sure you leave the ignition on for a little while before you drive. Because you want to make sure your car warms up. So that your body is like that. You start fasting on a summer day, let's say you're breaking your fast at 7, you'll be fainting by the 5th or the 6th of Ramadan. And you'll be saying, you'll be cursing yourself. So get your body used to it, inshallah. And again, subhanAllah, if you are doing any of these sunnah fasts, and if you break it, you don't have to make it up. Unless you're a Hanafi, then you have to make it up. But apart from that, you don't have to. And I'll give you a dalil, you don't have to. Why? Because Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he would fast on Monday, but when he would come to Aisha radiallahu anha's house, and he would ask, what's there for breakfast? And if she would serve a meal to him, he would break the fast and he would not make it up. But unfortunately, some of you are Hanafis and you will make it up later, even if I give you the day. So it doesn't matter, inshallah. So, having said that, yes.
Eat less.
Eat less, mashallah. This is the best thing. Eat less and your wife will actually make more dua for you. So she's not in the kitchen then. So you know what, eat less is a very good, and also you lose your gut. Every time, we're always, the older people like me, they always complain that we've got a really big stomach. One of the reasons is because you're eating too many pakoras and samosa. And so definitely when you eat that kind of meal, you are not going to be losing any of that gut, inshallah. So work on that. So look, question number 2. Before we go into the actual talk, what is that distracts you every Ramadan? Something that's your biggest distraction. Apart from this, I remember when I asked this question at one of the places, and I asked, what's your biggest distraction? Someone said, my wife. And I said, you're very lucky your wife's not here. So, inshallah, if your wife's on the other side, please don't say it. So what's your biggest distraction, inshallah? Something that distracts you in Ramadan. I know this one is the biggest one, yes. Yes.
My sister.
Your sister. Sisters are okay. Or maybe you need to talk to your father.
Still a lady.
SubhanAllah. Anyways, we should not be doing the women jokes because I know there's a women section over here as well. So
Maybe we end up not reaching Ramadan.
That's right. You live in Australia, you never know. Anyways, what's your biggest distraction? Anyone? Any other child wants to say it? Yes.
Electronics, basically work and stuff.
Yes, PlayStation, subhanAllah. Shaitan left from us, but he left his tools with us, so we always get distracted. Anyways, finally, what do you want to do? My last question to all of you. What do you want to do this Ramadan something different? Something that you've never done. You actually have a goal now, and you want to do something in a very different way. Yes?
I'm trying to finish the Quran in the whole day.
MashaAllah, may Allah help you and may Allah help everyone. See, finishing the Quran is one of the greatest virtues. And voice. Being quiet is also a great virtue. Anyways, moving on. Yes,
Not getting frustrated too fast.
that's right, but not getting frustrated too fast. We should always make sure that we control our emotions, regardless of what. You know, when they say fast and the furious, so don't become fast and the furious. You know, when you're fast and you're furious, don't be like that. Generally, every time when you're angry, you say, I was fasting. So don't blame the fasting for that, inshallah. See, subhanAllah, I want to start with the first one, my first point. And inshallah, I want to give you very quickly, I want to give you 6 points, inshallah. And these 6 points will help you this Ramadan, inshallah. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Jazakallahu khair. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows me and you. So you know when you look at the ayah of Ramadan, it says, Shahru Ramadan, that what is, so it starts with, what does it start with? Shahr. So it starts with a time. Every other message in the Quran, all that is important. But what's something, the most important thing? It's time. You know, I started my talk today with time. Time is something that does not stay with you. It just goes away. Regardless of what you do, time will never be there. When me and you will get up today from this musalla after this talk, we'll be 2 hours older than we started. You're not going to get that age back. That 2 hours, you've come over here, when you drove over here, and by the time you get home, you'll be older. You'll be older by the hour. And tomorrow you'll be more older. So inshallah, this is something that you want to make sure that you're always keeping an eye on this. See, subhanAllah, an amazing surah. And in our school, we teach this as the afternoon dua. And a lot of students, they come and they say, isn't this bid'ah? Because the Prophet never did it. And I say to the students, subhanAllah, yes, it may be something that the Prophet never did it, but every child has memorized this surah. And Imam Shafi'i said, it's my question to, not the fathers, to the children. Imam Shafi'i said, if Allah only revealed this surah, it will be enough. That will be enough for the entire Quran. Now I want to ask the children, I want to open it to the children. What's this surah? Does anyone know which surah is this? MashaAllah. MashaAllah, so you're young by your heart and your age as well. Anyway, Surah Asr is actually, Allah actually starts with the time, one Asr. And Allah actually speaks about the time. And Allah says that everyone, Inna ladina amanu, that illa ladina amanu. So then Allah speaks about the 4 qualities. But before that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually telling us that everyone's at loss. Everyone. Inna al-insana lafi khusr. No matter who we are sitting over here, we all are at loss. But then Allah says, the ones who are not at loss are the ones who are doing 4 things. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. That the ones who are actually, they are the ones who believe, and they have the knowledge, and they act on that knowledge. And they are the ones who are acting upon that knowledge. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. And they're the ones who actually come together, and they're steadfast, and they're helping each other. They're helping each other to stay steadfast. And they وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. And they're the ones who are actually telling people, everyone around them, to have patience. Now, subhanAllah, no matter who we are sitting over here, just very quickly, when it comes to the actions, and when it comes to doing and believing, a lot of people sitting over here, if I was to ask you this question straight out, are you practicing everything that you know? There is always a gap between that. That's why this surah is there, for me and you to remind you that we're not angels. There will always be a gap. Everyone that sits over here, we have, mashallah, knowledge and we know a lot. But when you look at our actions, it is not in par with our knowledge. We are always chasing our actions. Our actions are always less. But this Ramadan, inshallah, this surah, think of this surah as this way, that you want to, whatever you know, you want to practice that as much as you can. And how you're going to do that is you are going to work hard. And how you're going to work hard is basically making sure that people around you, they're all steadfast, and at the same time, when they are going backwards or when they are falling behind, that's the time you actually tell them to have patience. See, something that we want to do, inshallah, in this Ramadan, that we want to have patience. So understand, everyone sitting over here, we're not angels. We're not going to be always making and doing things that we know. We are going to be, we're going to lag behind. We're going to be we are going to be not doing the things that we know. Because this is very common. You need to understand this. And inshallah, if you know this, you know your limitation, your Ramadan will be great. So the next time when you see someone reading Quran in a particular way, and you read it, you look at someone finishing one mushaf or two mushaf, then you don't get taken back by that. You understand, this is maybe not your capacity. This is maybe not your limit. You're that person over there, where he can do something more, and you probably can do something else more. So don't just, yes, in our religion, subhanAllah, when it comes to hasanat, we have to compete with each other. But then also we need to know our limitation. And this is a beautiful thing that you want to do in this Ramadan, inshallah. And one of the things, making sure that everyone sitting over here, think of Ramadan about efficiency. You have to be more efficient. So what does that mean? So as I said, continuing from the previous point, not everyone is good at reading Quran. Not everyone will be able to finish 10 Qur'ans this Ramadan. Not everyone will be able to stand up the entire Taraweeh. Not everyone will be able to give a lot of money. Think of what is your factor that you can make a difference this Ramadan. And don't overdo it. I really mean it. And I've seen people, they are competing and they don't understand their own bodies. So they stand for 20 rak'ah. Well, mashallah, we've got some Arabs, they don't believe in 20. But if you are a Pakistani, then there's no other way. If it's only 20 or you haven't done anything. And subhanAllah, if you've done 8 over here, they'll go home and pray the other 12 as well. Only kidding, guys. But having said that, we need to know our limitation. So if, subhanAllah, look at this, like this child over there, I really liked him. He said he wants to do 2 pages. If you are getting, that khushu' and that love for Quran in that 22 pages, and you're reading it with your heart, then that too is more than the 100 that you read and you're sweating and you're falling on one side and you're really hating it. It's that too that you read is actually better than that. So no, do it efficiently. So if you're standing over here, you have to go to work, and that 4 rak'ah of Taraweeh is something that you really enjoyed behind the Imam, and you were doing it, and you liked it, and that 4 is better than standing up for 20 and sleeping half the way and not even understanding. So make this Ramadan and do things in a way that you're not overdoing it. And when you overdo it, that's when you start feeling tired and you're not getting the reward as well. You're only making it difficult for yourself. Some people over here, they only pray 2. But that 2 they pray is better than the 8 that other people are praying. And subhanAllah, and no jokes, a masjid, mashallah, a Jami masjid in Rooty Hill, if you've been there, they have this front row on the left-hand side with these chairs where all elderly people sit. That's like a really long row. And you're praying over there, and all of a sudden you hear someone snoring. No exaggeration. The man's actually sleeping on the chair. And so that is no benefit at all, because you actually, I want to give you, subhanAllah, Zainab, the wife of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam entered masjid, he found 2 robes. And they said, he said, what is this? And Muhammad, they said, this is for Zainab. You know, when she prays in the night, when she gets tired, she holds one of these robes. And then while she's doing, when she's about to go to sleep, then she holds one of this robes. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to take the robes down. Do not kill yourself. Take it down. That's why you need to make sure that you do this Ramadan and you do it in the best way possible. Some people are not made for that. I am not kidding you. There are some people cannot pray, stand up for 20. They are living in guilt. Our children, don't raise them in guilt. SubhanAllah, I always give this example. And I was raised like that. You know, if you are a Pakistani, or an Indian, or a Bangladeshi, every time people say I'm an anti-Pakistani, but I'm not, as you can see. I'm like, when you take something out from the box, made in Pakistan. So I'm like that. But anyways, if you're a Pakistani, you grow up knowing the Isha Salah has 17 rak'ah. SubhanAllah, in itself, it's a torture for a little one. And if you don't pray 17, then your parents will guilt trip you. SubhanAllah, 17, that's a lot. And this is the problem, that you're growing your children like that. You're putting burden on them, so they don't like Salah anymore. So what happens is, when Isha time comes, the 17 number is a dangerous number. He's scared, because if he's not going to pray 17, then you're going to tell him his Salah is not done. And SubhanAllah, raise, see, if you really want to look at the Sunnah, there's only 2 Sunnah in Isha. That's it. And there's bits after that, which you pray, but make it easy for your children. Have your child starting prayer, even if he's not praying Sunnah, let him go. Inshallah, work on it. Give him the benefit. Sometimes we force them too much that they have to do this way. And they you know what, SubhanAllah, when you hear the Imam say, so 2 people doing the same action, one is getting more reward than the other. Why? Because one of them is not doing it from the heart. He's only kissing the floor like the chickens. Only why? Because he wants to please his parents. So inshallah, this Ramadan, what you want to do is, you want to make it a way that you want to do everything efficiently. Whatever is your plus point, if you can stand up in the night, this is where you need to work hard. If you're someone that can read Quran, you can do khatma. SubhanAllah, if you look at another one very quickly, may Allah make us like these people. SubhanAllah, the Sahabas are amazing people. Abdullah ibn Amr al-As would finish 1 Quran every day. And Rasulullah, someone told Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that he finishes 1 Quran every day. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam actually was, he said, don't do that. And he stopped him from doing that. So he told him, and this is why, when your parents have told you, finish 1 Quran at least 30 days, it's from this hadith. So Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told him to read Quran in 30 days. He said, I can do better. So he gave him another day. He said, I can do better. And so they came to 3 days. And he said, I can do better. Rasulullah said, there's nothing better than that. So after that, he said, for you, because if you're doing better than that, you're not reading Quran. Have you heard the Taraweeh in Pakistan? The 7-day one? You come out, mashallah, you don't even know what the Imam recited. The only thing you hear is Ameen. SubhanAllah, this is what the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam actually meant.
There is a shorter version, 3 days as well.
3 days, mashallah. So they're following the sunnah of Abdullah ibn Amr al-As. I haven't been to that one. May Allah not allow me to be there. Ameen. Anyways, now moving on. This is for the father sitting over here, inshallah. And I know you guys are waiting for the food because you don't have to listen to my boring lecture because the food's arrived as well. I'll make it very quick, inshallah. This is the one I want to pull the legs off the fathers, inshallah. Ramadan is not about me. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say a about Ramadan. He did not say لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْرَبُونَ, and he did not say لَعَلَّكُمْ تَأْكُلُونَ. What he said was لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So if your heart, you want to purify your heart and feed your heart, then your stomach should be empty. So if your stomach, subhanAllah, Ramadan's about delicacies. If you look at, mashallah, you know, I've learned so many Egyptian dishes as well. And now I'm learning because my colleagues at work, there's a lot of Egyptians at work. And I learned something, I don't want to pull your leg, but there's something mishmish, there's this cheese. The delicacies of Egyptian people, that they keep this cheese for 100 years. And it's a mish. See, I didn't even say it right. Corrected me over there. So they keep this cheese for 100 years. And there's a joke that comes to my mind. It's about, it's a famous joke, that Shaitan came and the man started eating mish. He did not say Bismillah. And he ate the first jar. And after that, he started eating again. He ate the second one. And when he was about to eat the third one, Shaitan said, Qul Bismillah. Qul Bismillah. Because he actually could not take the taste anymore. It's such a strong taste. He said, please say Bismillah. I don't know what the mish is. I don't know if your Egyptian friends have given you the mish. It's like it's a very good cheese I've had.
I've never tested it.
So you're not Egyptian then?
He's not. He's not.
I don't like it.
He's not Egyptian. So see, the Egyptians are saying you're not right.
You don't know what you are missing.
So
It is the Egyptian version of Vegemite.
it's the Egyptian version of Vegemite. So you see, even the shaitan does not like the taste. Only kidding. Only kidding.
Now you will never eat.
So inshallah, this Ramadan is you don't want to leave your wives in the kitchen. Don't worry if you don't get pakoras and samosas and the mish and all these other things. Your diet should be very specific, inshallah. Learn from the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, he said, eat 1/3, leave 1/3 for water, and the last 1/3 is actually for air. It doesn't mean 1/3 is for the main course, the other 1/3 is for the sweet dish, and the other 1/3 is for mish. Only kidding, sorry, I just like the word. So, it doesn't mean that. It means you have to make sure that when you come, subhanAllah, how many people have come to Taraweeh? You've been the victim of the burping of the person next to you. Imagine if you're in Qiyam al-Layl and the Imam is reading Surah Baqarah. Now this man just burps in the middle now. Can't do anything now. SubhanAllah, you were in Jannah, some of the ayahs took you over there. After the burp, you've gone somewhere else. So please, be mindful of other people in the Musalla. Be mindful of other people. When you come, don't overeat. It's not a competition. That when you break your fast, then you are eating the most. It's not that. Eat little. Inshallah, make a goal that this Ramadan, you will lose at least 10-15 kilos, inshallah. And if you've done that, at least you've attained some part of that Ramadan, that you purify your heart. Because when your stomach is full, your heart's always empty. In order to fill that heart, your stomach needs to be empty. So you're not going to get that inside your heart, inshallah. This is what we need to do. And also, as I said, diversify your ibadah. This is my last 2 points, inshallah, and I'm going to finish after that. So, diversify your ibadah. Don't just focus on one thing, that I want to just finish the Quran and this is what I want to do. Don't just focus. Diversify your ibadah. How you diversify it? Pray and find the opportunities. Come to the masjid. We are weak people. You cannot pray qiyam in the house. This is such a great place, inshallah. And I'm sure there'll be qiyam over here, qiyam al-layl as well. Join the jama'ah. If you come and you pray behind the imam, that will be an opportunity. Become very, you become motivated. You want to pray more. So inshallah, if they're doing qiyam over here, if they're doing taraweeh over here, join them. And come over here, inshallah, and learn and diversify. So give charity. Even $1, inshallah. You know what? Make a goal for yourself. Every day you'll give at least $1 for 30 days. Imagine if you gave that $1 on Laylatul Qadr. So imagine that. Just imagine that $1 will multiply. It's just, subhanAllah, just diversify your ibadah and make sure that you do things in a structured way and you do things in a way that you are not lagging behind. And when you start Ramadan, don't start too hard. SubhanAllah, you've seen, this is the community. Every time you've seen people, you see the masjid is full. First day, second day. After 10 days, people start disappearing. After 20 days, then people go for break for the middle 10 days. And then they start coming back again in the last 10 days. So don't do like that. Inshallah, this is the time that you want to make the most of it, inshallah. And I don't want to say this, but minimize technology and distraction. Whatever is a distraction. Maybe this Ramadan, invest in a mushaf. Don't have your phone. Every time you say someone, oh, but Sheikh, I read Quran in the phone. You don't read Quran, you're fooling yourself. So buy a mushaf. Inshallah, if you don't have one, there's a lot over here, and I'm sure Hussein can give you one, inshallah, afterwards. So take that, and he will get more hasanat for that, because he gave you that mushaf. So when you're reading it, he will be also part of that hasanah as well, inshallah. So this year, you want to invest into physical books, inshallah. Get something, inshallah. And now, subhanAllah, when you look at what's the best time? The best time, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam actually made dua, and he said, Allahumma barik li ummati fi bukuriha. So people always say, what's the best time? The best time is the early morning hours. So wake up in the night, at least half an hour, 1 hour, and you make sure when you wake up at night at that time that you pray your Qiyam al-Layl, read some Quran, make some dua. And then after that, come to the masjid, pray your Fajr Salah over here, do your Azkar, and then go to work. How many of us sit over here today? SubhanAllah, I don't want to put you on the spot, but how many of us do Azkar al-Sabah wal-Masa? How many of us do it? Some people don't even know what that is. SubhanAllah, some people don't even know that. How many of us do the du'as that when we're leaving the house and when we're coming inside the house? How many of us, SubhanAllah, I was, one of the questions I was asked in the school yesterday, that did Shaitan teach Ayat al-Kursi to Abu Hurairah? And there's a hadith in Bukhari. SubhanAllah. So can you imagine Ayat al-Kursi, such a great ayah, that if you recite it in the morning when you leave, barakah of it, you recite it after your salah. Make a practice, do something this Ramadan that you want to add in your life and that never goes away, inshallah. SubhanAllah, I was reading a tweet on Twitter today, and this is just on a lighter side. Someone said Trump has never visited any masjid in USA. And the guy answered at the bottom, because we read Ayatul Kursi every day. SubhanAllah, Muslims find the jokes everywhere. So this is it. So if you don't want people like Trump to come to your house, read Ayatul Kursi, inshallah. And it's, remember, this is an amazing thing. My Shaykh Mukhtar Abban, Hafidullah, may Allah give him long life, an amazing man. He said 2 things. You don't share your food with people who are not upright, because they take the barakah away, and you don't invite people who are not upright in your houses, because they take the barakah from your houses away. So what does that mean? That SubhanAllah, this is going back to the hadith, amazing hadith, when he says, "Al-mar'u ma'a dini khalili, falyanzur ahadukum man yukhalil." That a man's upon the religion of his friend. Be careful who your friend is. So be very careful. So if you don't have the right people, don't bring them to your house, because they will take the barakah away. We often invite people, we give our food to people, and they don't even say Bismillah. SubhanAllah, when you have you ever traveled on a plane? I'm sure everyone has. If there's a white person sitting next to you, what happens when he opens the tray and he says, this food, this is disgusting. Imagine what we do. When we open the tray, we say Bismillah. Even we want to have barakah in that food as well. And today, our children eat without saying Bismillah. And that's why, subhanAllah, I'm not saying that why do you think we are like this when you look at us, we're so, mashallah, we're getting bigger vertically and horizontally. So maybe we are not doing something right. Maybe we're not saying Bismillah or we're forgetting that. Maybe we're doing something wrong. Inshallah, what we want to do is, inshallah, we want to make sure, and there's a lot that can be said, but I'll finish up, inshallah. One of the things you want to do this Ramadan is power nap. You want to do this. Why? Because this will help you make your Ramadan amazing. SubhanAllah, do you know when you look at the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is they used to do power nap before Dhuhr Salah. Why is that? Because when you look at the hadith of Jum'ah, it said, we used to go to pray Jum'ah and we did not have time to sleep. So that's why we would sleep after Jum'ah. They used to actually sleep before Dhuhr Salah. Why is that? Because Sahaba's time started late in the night, really early in the night. And by the time they prayed Fajr, by the time they started working, they got tired and they slept a little bit, and that's when they went to pray Dhuhr. Now look at, subhanAllah, our power nap, the father of today, 3 hours he's gone, knocked out. And the wife is waking up. That's not power nap, that's the night's sleep you've had. Power nap should not be more than 20 minutes, inshallah. So, and don't do power nap at Asr Salah. Why? Because now you're just killing time, because you're feeling hungry and you want to wake up close to it. Power nap should always be around this time, before Dhuhr or after. At work, find a place. You know when you have lunchtime? Everyone, find a place at work. Sit on your chair, or maybe there's a musalla, there's a room. Go there, take a pillow, lie down, put an alarm on for half an hour sleep. Because that power nap will help you in the night. You're not going to be tired. That will help you in your Taraweeh. SubhanAllah, people, if you ask them, the ones who wake up in the night are the ones who actually sleep. You ask anyone sitting over here, the ones who come from Arab countries. Arab country had a system. SubhanAllah, that system's been taken away from shaitan. Their fathers used to go to work and they would come back at Dhuhr Salah. And they would come back to work from work, and after Asr, they would go back to work. And then they would work for 2 or 3 hours, whatever the time was, and then they would come home. SubhanAllah, even our system was Islamic, even the work system. Now, SubhanAllah, 8 to 5. They want you there. And they want to milk you over there, and so that you get tired when you get home. And our lifestyles, we're sitting in our cars for hours, stuck in the traffic. Some of you get home by 6:30, 7. You've got no energy left. You'd be lucky to wake up for Fajr Salah. You've got no energy left in you. So, inshallah, there's something that we can change our habits, inshallah. As I said, I can say a lot, inshallah, but we'll leave it there. And subhanAllah, we want to stay active and alert this Ramadan, inshallah. One of the amazing dua that comes to mind, that we want to fight ajaz and kasb. You know, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-ajzi wal-kasb. You know, ajaz in Arabic language is something which is out of your hands. When you're ajaz, when you're not able to do something, Allah has made you ill, or Allah has taken something away. It's out of your hand. So you're making dua, oh Allah, take me away from that. But kasal is something that's in your hand. You're just being lazy. SubhanAllah, how do you become lazy? Is because of the YouTube. SubhanAllah, if you look at your YouTube, I challenge everyone to go, and SubhanAllah, not the Pakistanis, they've been looking at election the whole day. And the only thing they're worried about is Imran Khan going to win or not. May Allah help you guys and make it easy for you. The only one who's going to win in Pakistan is Asim Munir. So I don't know about anyone else, but if you do know him, he's the only one that's going to win at the moment. And Nawaz Sharif is not going to win. It's Asim Munir will win, and he will decide who's the puppet. So, subhanAllah, just on a very quickly, my Arab friends now will not like it, but very quickly I want to give you something in charge. I want you to take this. SubhanAllah, we always back the army. I'm not saying I'm the army fan over here, I'm not promoting the army, but let me tell you, what's the job of the army? I want to ask the Pakistanis, what's the job of the army?
Protect the border.
But what is army trained for?
War.
War, to kill people. So when the civilians bring the army to deal with the civilians, and when they kill you, then you get upset to the army. Don't get so upset on the army. It's us that we bring them all the time, and then they start killing us, and then we bag them. They have a job. We are the ones who bring them from the border to help us. SubhanAllah, if anyone's sitting over here from Karachi, we are the ones who actually brought the Rangers to get rid of a political party. And what did the Rangers do? I don't have to tell you. So the problem is that we should not bag our institutions. That goes for the Egyptians and all the Muslims. We are only savior, subhanAllah, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also our power is flexed on this army and whatever we have. If you take that institution away, if you keep on bagging it, may Allah save you from your neighbors. And there's a neighbor right next to you. I'm not saying, as I said, I'm not here promoting the army, but I'm telling they have a job. When we are the ones who changed their job, and we brought them in the public. When you bring a lion outside the zoo or outside the jungle, he's not going to let you go. Now the lion needs food. He needs to attack someone. So he's attacking his own people. So may Allah help us, subhanAllah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help this nation. Everyone, subhanAllah, we are all bleeding. No matter where you look at Pakistan, you look at Egypt, these people over here who are sitting over here, they're not happy with their government as well. And if you look at all these powers, subhanAllah, may Allah make it easy for the people of Gaza, and we make dua. SubhanAllah, these people are true warriors, and they've been fighting, and they're doing SubhanAllah, this is sadaqatun jariyah, that they have been doing sadaqah. And they're upon for all of us sitting over here, that they are, not worrying about their lives. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows me and you to be people that we follow for whatever we heard. And at the same time, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for the entire Muslim ummah. And we ask Allah, wallahi I say this, let's come out of this nationalism, asabiyya. We're all Muslims. We're ummatun wahid. Let's be that. We've been divided by the British. MashaAllah, the British came and they gave you a name, they gave them a name, they gave everyone a name. And that's what happens today. And we are very proud to speak about who we are, but we forget what joins us. Look around. Look at everyone. We're all different. We come from different lands, but we stood together and we touched our feet to our feet, and we shoulder to shoulder, and we were not worried if someone's not a doctor or someone's not an engineer, but this religion allowed us to do that. And subhanAllah, this is a beautiful religion. And subhanAllah, if you look at this masjid, I would like to mention this as well, it's not started by a particular community. It's a group of people from different languages. They came together and they started this, inshallah. May Allah bless this community as well and put barakah. قولوا قولي هذا استغفر الله لي ولكم واستغفر الله إنه غفور رحيم. جزاك الله خير.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah khairan for the talk. Please always come to here, inshallah. You might arrange more.
Alhamdulillah, you said please try and wish you didn't say that.
I'm making a special plate. Jazakallah khairan, and let's start having some refreshments, inshallah. And if you have any questions for Sheikh Farhan, please.
Please direct it to Sharif Hassan.
Anybody would like to ask any questions? Like we could take something.
Please, no questions about Imran Khan, please. Don't ask me if I like him or not.
No questions on Mish?
Well, they're the Mish experts. I mean, well, they should not be asking me those questions.
I told you, I've never tested.
Well, then you see your friend at the back over there, he's going to actually make you eat one of them.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
As Muslim, are we allowed to live in between mushrikeen?
MashaAllah, that's always a great question.
Can you please repeat the question?
As Muslim, are we allowed to live
In Muslim.
amongst mushrikeen?
No Muslim.
You're already in Australia.
SubhanAllah, this is a very good question, and this question always comes. We all have responsibilities. You know, I tell you this, by us living over here, we are doing the work of Islam. And knowingly or unknowingly, even if you're not doing da'wah, people look at you, the way you dress, and if you have khair in you, that khair will go. As long as subhanAllah, the ulama said there's a condition for that. As long as you're doing da'wah, and you're staying over here, and you're staying for the sake of Allah, and you want to spread the deen. And we all are spreading deen, inshallah. Even if you were not to live with that intention, if you look at the hadith of إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, one of the part of the hadith, if you migrated for the sake of a woman, then your intention or your reward is only for that purpose. It's not, again, the hadith did not say that's haram or you're not allowed to do that. You're not going to get reward for that. So in order to make your stay in this country rewardable, we have to have intention. That inshallah that we are going to establish the prayer, we are going to do da'wah. And understand, da'wah is not standing on the table and calling people to Islam. Da'wah is at work. When you go there and you show your manners. You know, amazing hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he says, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِيُتِمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ, that I was sent to perfect your manners. If you are doing that and you've perfected your manners and you're promoting that, inshallah, and understand, subhanAllah, let me answer your question from the other angle. I tell you what, if we all pack up today, 1 million Muslims from everywhere from the world, our countries are not going to take us. They're not going to take us. They don't even have space for us to go back over there. What's going to happen? Let's say you left the country and we all went. What's going to happen to these masjids? Who's going to pray over here? Who's going to mention the name of Allah over here? Who's going to read Quran in these countries? So we all have a purpose. So our religion is not that restricted, that we're living in mushrik. Wallahi, living over here, the way I speak and openly I speak, I would not be able to speak in a Muslim country. You know, just recently, I went to UAE, and a very short stay over there on the way back when I was coming. And my son, you ask him later, he enjoyed the khutbah over there, the Jum'ah khutbah. You know how long the Jum'ah khutbah was? 6 minutes. He said, MashaAllah, that's such a great khutbah. Dad, that's better than you. And wallah, he didn't understand anything because it was in Arabic. It was only 6 minutes. And the dua was not even for Gaza. What was the dua? Allahumma arham Sheikh Zayed. Allahumma arham Sheikh Muhammad.
He needed.
They do need it. But the thing is, living over there, we cannot even speak up the truth. They even closed the mic. Maybe someone's related to UAE. Anyways. So the thing is, living over here, we are doing our job, inshallah. So do not confuse the matter, inshallah. Is this from Saudi? Because I'm about to. Because that's my other target. Anyways, you know, subhanAllah, may Allah make it easy for us. And I give you this, subhanAllah, I've learned one thing. We always blame the leaders. You know, they say the Monday morning centre forward. Have you heard about the Monday morning centre forward? It's a terminology. So the games of football are on Saturday and Sunday. So the Monday morning centre forward is the one who criticizes. You know what, Messi? He had the open goal he could have scored. This man's never kicked the ball in his life. But on Monday morning he criticizes everyone. And guess what? SubhanAllah, there was a man in the town, he would always criticize everyone. That this judge is like that leader is like that. One day he was caught doing evil himself, and he was brought. The judge knew about him. The judge said, today you will decide your own punishment. Today you will decide your punishment. Because you always criticize. So whatever punishment I give you, you're not going to be happy. I'll give you the Sharia. What you did, you will be lashed 10 times, but you can decide your punishment. So what is he going to do now? If he's now saying that he's an upright person, he's going to go through those 10 lashes. So the problem is, it's easy for us to criticize the leaders. SubhanAllah, if you ask the Egyptians, they love Sisi, like you guys love Nawaz Sharif. They love him, see, they love him. So, and that's the thing. We criticize, but when we will get the opportunity, are we able to fulfill the shoes of these people? And maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we make dua that Allah guides everyone. SubhanAllah, it's easy, talk is cheap. And that's why imams, they get very emotional on the microphone. They start spitting and they start, screaming. Because it's cheap, it's nothing, you don't have to pay anything. But on top of that, imams get paid to do the khutbahs as well. So they get money to talk as well. So anyways, inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy, inshallah. Any other question? If not, if you want to ask how the pizza is, because I haven't had it, and the brother's having it at the back, so you can ask him how the pizza is. That's a good question.